Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Too Sweet Podcast. It's your boys, Too Sweet and Revenant Resurrected, alongside Marie. And well, we got a huge topic today.
Yes, indeed. AEW, Malakai Black, Cody Rhodes. Did Cody retire? Are we going to see another match? Got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Punk, Bryan, Adam Cole, Bray Wyatt. So I'm not going to waste any time. You can find us at linktr.ee/2sweetpod to find out all of the listings of the podcast. And also, all of our Twitter handles, you can see them up on the screen if you watch this on YouTube. So let's do this thing, man. First topic of the day. Where are we going to start? We're going to start in AEW. But where at? Let's get right to Malakai Black and Cody. Let's get right to it. So, do y'all want? I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead. You can take it.
What the hell? What the hell did we see on Wednesday? Oh my god! In perfect fashion, in perfect fashion, Malakai Black. Oh my god!
He destroyed him.
Yeah.
He destroyed him, man. And as they're making their entrances, Malakai Black's entrance was just through the roof great. I'm saying, like, okay, Cody, put him over. He needs this. And like a few minutes into the match, and we get a black mass, and that thing is over. It is over. 1, 2, 3. It was like a Brock Lesnar John Cena at SummerSlam. It's a lesser version of that. And that is how you put over a star. As for the match, what did you think on that squash?
Oh my god! when I watched the match, oh my god, why? That was wow! That was a one-sided beatdown.
Yes, indeed, man. And I'll say this: we got to the end, and Cody's giving the sappy speech. He's like the new age Tommy Dreamer, where he's crying in every promo. That's beside the point. And I'm like, is he gonna retire? And he puts the boots down, and obviously Malakai Black hits him with the crutch when we go off air. I put up the poll: is Cody retiring, or are we gonna see a second match? Last time I checked, it was 84% that was saying, this is gonna keep going. And
it's gonna keep going.
Here's my thing.
To be fair, it's gonna keep going. That's just my opinion.
Okay. I got one thing, and I'm gonna let you guys have it. Cody, you cannot do the John Cena. You can't do the thing where you lose the big match, and it's like, oh, John Cena put that guy over, and then come to find out, the feud continues, and John Cena wins out on the feud, and the person loses momentum. Like, Cody cannot do that here. What do you guys think?
Well, here's my whole thing about the whole main event. Honestly, I have this like love-hate relationship with Cody Rhodes, because half the time I'm either ranting about him or just not caring. So this is the first time that Cody has made me feel something for him, and I'm like, what is he doing? Because of the way that it was built up and it was really done well, he made me feel something after the match and even during the match. Surprisingly, Malakai Black had Cody Rhodes' number, but Cody Rhodes is supposed to be the light in this darkness, and I really think that they missed. I'm not gonna say they missed an opportunity, but maybe. So after Cody Rhodes gets kicked with that spin kick that he does, I honestly thought that would have been the perfect time to introduce a heel Cody Rhodes. However, during the AEW media call, Cody Rhodes did say that he does not have a heel bone in his body, that he's been doing it for 10 years. And I was like, Cody, man, if you got kicked if you got kicked like that and you were dazed and concussed, why not tap into that heel side of you because a new Cody Rhodes has awakened? Like,
that would have been perfect.
Yeah, that could be perfect for next week. And then him doing the whole retirement speech thing, he was freaking me out. I was like, "What are you doing, Cody? Without Cody and wrestling, like, what are you doing, man? Like, I understand you want to take time off, but I'm along for the ride." It was a really great showing, and Malakai Black with his entrance, man, it reminded me of Skyrim. The way that he had the skull and everything, I was like, "Oh, Skyrim."
It was incredible, man. Like, I thought his WWE entrance was phenomenal. Like with his original music and whatnot, the way that they presented him in NXT, I thought that was phenomenal. But this one, to me, it topped that. It topped that.
And they are continuing in a way where they are just continuing in a way where with Malakai Black and swear to God, after and let me put this on the record with the vignettes and that little short film that Malakai Black actually did, with Josiah Williams.
Yeah.
Shout out to Josiah Williams.
Extremely talented.
Keep repping, man. Keep repping. Swear to God, Malakai Black, Tommy End, Tommy did a fantastic job with the short film with Josiah. My God, I was blown away and literally just putting this new character over in All Elite Wrestling absolutely made a lot of sense. Not just that, but we were hearing rumors. But we're hearing rumors that the coat of Windham is coming to AEW with not only Eric Redbeard, not only with Braun Strowman, not only with Bo Dallas, but with Bray Wyatt of all people. What?
We're gonna get into Bray Wyatt. I want you to hold that one. That's gonna be a whole topic. I want you to hold that one. But any final thoughts on Cody and Malakai Black?
I'm good, man. I'm just waiting for the story to unfold more.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, I'm same here. Just don't do the John Cena. Take it. Don't do the John Cena.
We're not gonna be able to take it anymore.
Okay. Look, speaking of things I can't take, Christian Cage was named the new #1 contender for the AEW heavyweight title. And that means one would have to assume that Hangman Page is on the outs, even though the storyline is continuing. I think it's this, man. Well, first of all, what are you guys' thoughts on Christian Cage being named the #1 contender?
That's something different. That's something different, to be honest, because you have Christian Cage, you have Jey Russo, being the guy who's been out of wrestling for 7.5 years. 7.5 years is a long time, but none of us fans have forgotten. None of us fans have forgotten. Trust me. I mean, really, big ups to Adam Copeland. Shout out to him. I mean, literally. If I gotta be honest, Jay needs us. Jay needs us in any shape or form, but he needs a shot. And literally, if he goes for the AEW title, that won't put a damper on things, but that'll keep building with Adam Page. With this whole thing that he has. With not just him, not just the Elite, and not just Dark Order, but also having Christian Cage and Jurassic Express involved. That's gonna be some interesting stuff, to say the least.
I don't like it at all because it makes no sense. Because I would like to consider myself a traditionalist when it comes to really good long-term storytelling. Christian Cage has been nowhere near this really long storytelling in the making between the Elite and Hangman Adam Page. This starts all the way back to being the Elite and everything that we see on YouTube. So throwing him in there doesn't make any sense. Now, if when we get to Full Gear, and let's just say for the sake of fantasy booking, because we all love fantasy booking, for the sake of fantasy booking, right? Let's say that Hangman Adam Page does take the AEW World Heavyweight Championship title off of Kenny Omega, right? But he does it with Christian Cage's help, and then you add that extra layer, so that way it makes sense for Christian Cage to face Kenny Omega, and Christian Cage to be like, well, you were never on my level, son. Like, I have more accomplishments than you have, and bam, there you go. You start that, and then however you finish it, and then you go back to Hangman Adam Page and have Christian Cage tell him, yo, I helped you win that championship title, so you have to give me a shot now.
That would be great. I could buy that for $1. Resilient, you jumping in here on Christian Cage? What's up? How are you?
Oh, so far so good. It's been a long time. I'm so happy to hear all of you. How's it going?
Here, it is going great. We're talking about Christian Cage being the number one contender, and what's your thoughts on that?
I think that's good in regards of the storyline with Kenny and Hangman as of the moment. I mean, this is still in development, and I think that we still need to give it the time to unfold and to see how it keeps on evolving. And it's good. I mean, Christian, ever since he made his debut on AEW, I mean, he was looking for gold. So I think that's good. And they even gave us an Easter egg, when Kenny. Those episodes ago when the title was left on the ring, and then Christian picked it up. Yeah. So I think most likely, I mean, we know Kenny's going to retain still, but it's good to see it him having his number one contender space on his title shot now. Yeah, that most likely will be happening at All Out. I don't know, but I think that's good.
Okay. Well, here's where I stand on this. I don't mean to be negative, Nancy, but they sold me Hangman versus Omega. Like, they could have made All Out $50-$60, and I would have paid if they just told me Hangman versus Omega is the main event. And to me, this is like if WCW was building Sting Hogan. It's like, okay, it looks like it's gonna happen at Stargate, and then they toss in like DDP to face Hogan. That's all fine and well, and I like DDP, I like Christian, but the story is Hangman and Kenny Omega, and momentum is a funny thing in wrestling. Like, sometimes you see it in WWE all the time. Like, it's this person's time, he's over, get the title on him, and they wait. And by the time they do it, it's like, hey, it doesn't have the same momentum. Now, we're all gonna love Hangman Page, clearly, no matter what. But who's to say by the time we get to Hangman Page and Kenny months down the line that he'll still have the momentum, that the story will still have the momentum? We think that it will, but we're not, you can never be sure with that. That's why I say, go ahead and do Hangman Page and Kenny at All Out. Hangman wins, and then we can involve Christian into the storylines where he goes after the title. Nevertheless, I'm going to let it play out and give it a chance. I'm going to give Christian and Kenny a chance to see how this thing plays out.
Exactly, and I think that the reason, I don't know, I mean, our guys are used to really, really long-term storytelling, and the Hangman basically breaking up with the Dark Order and trying to handle things on his own, right, as Kenny did on New Japan. But that due to the rumors that maybe CM Punk might be appearing at All Out, they don't want to take like the momentum from Hangman, which might be a factor as well. But yes, I mean, let's not get disappointed just yet. Let's let it play out and pay attention to the storyline and see how it unfolds. I don't promise anything, but I think it will.
I shall be watching. And we'll move on to the final AEW topic of the week: Jericho versus Juventud Guerrera. As being a guy, I'm a WCW guy down in my heart. Seeing Juventud Guerrera on TNT television, that was pretty cool. I gotta say.
Seriously though, that match absolutely killed it. It killed it in a good way. Like, woohoo! My cousin said 14-second video of the entrance. I saw the whole entrance. I saw the whole match. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell?
See, I'm such a sucker for two old guys that can still move around having a good match. Just like when Matt Hardy faced off against Christian one of those weeks. And it was a darn good match. And two old guys not flipping around. And I appreciate that, man. Hoovy and Jericho, they had a good match. Jericho wins. Wardlow comes out. He would have to go on to face Wardlow in his ever quest to get his hands on MJF. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I was gonna say that during a watch along, because I was doing a watch along with some people watching AEW Dynamite, and I was like, imagine if Jericho gets to Wardlow, right? He wins, and MJF already declared himself as the special guest referee. Right. I bet you he's gonna take that referee shirt off, and he's gonna be like, Jericho is now you're gonna face me in the same night in the right after Wardlow. Like, I know he's gonna do some underhanded tactic like that. Right after that match is gonna be MJF versus Jericho.
That would be a good idea. That would be a lovely heel move, a great heel move to pull off.
Yeah, exactly. To that point, with next week. I mean, come on, that's gonna be great. Because you have a packed card with the Impact World Tag Team titles involved with the Dark Order and the Good Brothers. That's gonna be nuts in more ways than one. Because I'm just hoping that that the Good Brothers keep the titles, because really, if they lose the titles, that's gonna be leading into some weird shenanigans right there. But hopefully for me, I hope Jericho beats Wardlow for the first time.
Yes. Before, how's it going, George? Man, anything you want to jump in on?
Yeah, I mean, I think my opinion with Wardlow versus Jericho, I think Juventud is going to get involved, because Wardlow attacked Juventud, didn't he, at the end of the match?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. So I think Juventud is going to be like, nah, it's not going like that, and he's going to attack Wardlow or distract him somehow. Jericho hits the Judas effect. 1, 2, 3, Jericho wins. A week later, he faces MJF. And he's there for the title. There's no titles on the line.
Yes.
MJF a week later.
Just a grudge match.
Faces him for the title. I'm so used.
Right, I feel you.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay, that would be good as well, as we build the labors of, how did they put it? The labors of Jericho? Or the
labors of Jericho.
Yeah, the 5 labors.
Oh, yeah. As we move on.
So he better win against MJF, man.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a new one. I'll never be able. As we move on, I'll never be able to hear the labels of Jericho without thinking about birth and pregnancy again. But we move on.
Jokes, man. I try.
Moving on, Adam Cole.
Right, and he has been, winning.
Adam Cole, baby.
All right, we'll talk about Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, supposedly his contract is up. His contract is up after SummerSlam, to which that shocked everyone. And that got a lot of people talking. AEW, and what do you guys think? Because I'm at a point to where, I'm kind of pulling for Adam Cole to go back to NXT. Nevertheless, this is very exciting. Where would you guys like to see Adam Cole end up?
I need Adam Cole in the G1.
Ooh,
And I only say that because most of the American New Japan Pro wrestlers are over here in the States, and New Japan Strong has been picking up touring dates in Texas and in Philly. So that means that we're not going to see Jay White, we're not going to see Finley, we're not going to see Juice, and we're not going to see probably like those top three in the G1 this year, because they're going to stay out here. So why not just have Adam Cole go over to the G1? Even if he doesn't win it, at least he gets the experience, and we get a fresh new Adam Cole in a way, because he never really fulfilled New Japan duties like that, even though he was in the Bullet Club but on the American side. So it'll be a good experience for him to go there.
That would be sick. That would be sick. Anybody else hopping in? Where would y'all like to see Adam Cole go?
I'd like to see Adam Cole go to NXT UK.
That would be interesting as well.
I'd like to see him go up against Walter for title, or either I can never pronounce his name, Dragunov for title.
You want Adam Cole to die with those hands, huh?
I mean,
I was like, damn, he said he hit him into the walls dead. You're like, yo, Adam Cole, you're great, but you gotta take this chop.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, it's like being hit by a bus. It's like, I seen the match. What's his name? Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa, and it's like, how is Tommaso Ciampa still walking after that?
Wrestlers, man. Wrestlers are a freaking unique breed, man.
Different breed. Yes. Different breed. Anybody else want to jump in? Where would you like to see Adam Cole go?
Yeah, most likely on the G1, as Marie said, because, if he went, I'm not sure if he'll return to the Bullet Club. And as of going with his former friends, he was killed off from being killed.
He's a dead man.
Are they going to resurrect the ghost of the baby? I don't know.
Hey guys,
if they do, what's up? Oh, hey, go ahead, man.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up?
I was just saying hi, and I was like listening about Adam Cole. AEW has already offered him some contract, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, they already offered Adam Cole the contract for him to get to join AEW after his last match, the NXT Takeover 36.
Wow, that is something.
Friends stick with friends, right?
Yeah.
But I was gonna jump in with I don't think Tama's gonna allow Adam Cole to be back in the Bullet Club. The only reason why Adam Cole got into the Bullet Club was because he was part of Ring of Honor when Ring of Honor had the partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So to grow the base, they put him in the Bullet Club. But I can always double check on the sources for that. But most likely Tama's not gonna have Adam Cole in the Bullet Club.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
I guess we can move on unless anybody has any final thoughts on Adam Cole.
Adam Cole is a Triple H, right? So I don't know. I have so much doubts of Adam Cole leaving. I don't know. I'm just seeing him still, resign, still staying in WWE, basically NXT. So we wait and see.
Yeah, if I'm Triple H, like I'm signing a blank check. Vince, look, please, look, I'm gonna be Keith Sweat. Please, baby, don't go. I'll do anything. Stay Adam Cole. That's what I'm doing, Adam Cole. If I'm Triple H, if I'm Vince, but hey, we'll see how it turns out. Moving on, speaking of free agents, Bray Wyatt is now a free agent. To where, man, this was shocking. Like, this is one of those things to where I looked at it and it's like, is that a real WWE account? Let me look twice, and it's like, no, that's the actual WWE account. And Bray Wyatt is released. Reportedly, Johnny Ace said due to budget cuts, to which I always turn around and say WWE is signing $1 billion deal after $1 billion deal. Why do we have budget cuts going on? Nevertheless, man, Bray Wyatt has been so underused, one of the most underutilized wrestlers in WWE history to me. I hope the guy, I'm pulling for him to, I don't necessarily want to see him to go to one company. Like, we have this open door thing going on. I would like to see him bounce around companies. Where would you guys like to see Bray Wyatt end up?
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in and quickly say I think it's work. I think it's WWE work.
Wow, I didn't.
Really?
Because, you know, if you look on the website on WWE,
Yeah.
if you look on the website on WWE.com, there was no. Whenever they release someone, they always say, for example, you know, George Havoc, we wish you the best in your future endeavors, etc., etc.
Right.
They did not do that with Bray Wyatt. They did not say that they wish him the best in his future endeavors.
They sure
so what
didn't.
I think has happened is that they've extended his holiday. Now, they said that they fired Bray Wyatt, but not the Fiend. So, is he going to come back full time as the Fiend? Drop the whole, drop the whole, like, double personality act? Just
Right.
Full time sort of Kane replacement, something like that?
I got to tell you,
That's what I'm guessing.
that'll be a hell of a swerve. I'll tell you that much.
I love the way George is saying it, man. Like, to be honest, I gotta agree with some points about the way George has just explained about, you know, the Fiend not being released, but only Bray Wyatt getting released. And there was a big bit of issue that came out that Vince McMahon had an issue with Bray Wyatt. Vince McMahon, the last match we saw was, of course, the Fiend with Randy Orton at WrestleMania, which was his last match ever we saw. The Fiend wanted to win. Bray Wyatt wanted the Fiend character to win against Randy Orton, but Fiend refused. And I hear that was where the problem came in too. Bray Wyatt never wanted the character to lose because he felt like the character is going to lose the momentum or the psych that it's getting with the fans, and Vince was forcing him to lose. So it was a last minute change, and that's why I feel like Bray Wyatt had an issue with Vince. Vince decided, you know what, we don't need you anymore. And also the Fiend character, they are going to put it to someone different. Because of Bray Wyatt no longer being in WWE, they're going to use a different superstar as the new Fiend. So that is what I've had,
Well, they already have Alexa Bliss kind of in that mode. So I'd be interested to see how that turns out. Anybody else got things or thoughts, on Bray Wyatt?
Well, as I was trying to point out earlier, we have Bray Wyatt, we have Eric Redbeard, Braun Strowman, and Bo Dallas actually probably going to. This is a huge thing here, and it could possibly be that the four of them could possibly end up in a group, end up in a faction together, and And really, with that, we could see all four of them, possibly go back to WWE or go to AEW, but we don't know. We don't know exactly what the hell's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I was gonna jump in with this idea because I was thinking about it. So like, first of all, damn it, George left. George brought up a good point, and I like his point. But other than that, imagine if Bray Wyatt did get released and everything. And let's go back to that point that I made of like Cody being like concussed and whatnot. And let's say that he did want to retire. During that AEW media call, Cody Rhodes was like, Husky Harris was his rookie. So imagine if
Wow.
Imagine if to get Bray Wyatt introduced to AEW, he goes over to Cody's house and he's like, look, man, there cannot be a world without you, so you have to get out of retirement, you have to get out of this funk. And imagine if Bray Wyatt brings him out of this funk to come back just to face Malakai Black into their story. So like that was the idea I had to have that going, and that's a new way to introduce Bray Wyatt to AEW. So it has no affiliation with the Fiend and everything that WWE owns.
That would be nice. That'd be a pretty dope way to introduce him.
This is why I strive to be the freaking writer I want to be in wrestling, but it seems like AEW loves to fucking close their doors on people who have ideas like this.
Oh,
I
man.
only bring that up because of what QT Marshall said on Twitter, and I didn't like it. So I was just like, nah, man, I'm not going to get deterred. I'm still going to try to be a writer for wrestling with limited power.
Hashtag hire Marie, because you have come up with some good ideas.
Yeah, I mean, people still love my script.
Can I suggest an idea? Hello, everybody from Ireland.
JP.
Could we not just repackage Rey Mysterio?
I knew that was coming. You leave Rey Mysterio alone, sir.
Just
for the love of God.
Repackaging somebody else's The Fiend. How did that go down when they repackaged somebody as the new Sin Cara? How did that go down when they brought out the new Diesel and the new Razor Ramon?
It didn't go too well.
Yeah, and he's already changed his Instagram handle to Cult of Wyndham.
Yeah.
He's obviously looking beyond that.
JP, you got it, man. You got it. See, I'm gonna bring that. I was about to bring that up.
He's gone. He's not going back there, lads. He's not.
That was the group. That was the faction. That was the faction that I was talking about. I was talking about. Oh my God, we might see that with both. The brothers Wyatt, Eric Redbeard, and Braun Strowman. We may see that.
Well, I don't think that's a good idea because, like, AEW are regularly accused of just repackaging, what they call WWE cast-offs. And to be fair, like, Andrade is not rocking anybody's world for what he's doing now. Malakai Black is very good, but he's still... Malakai Black sounds very similar to Aleister Black. I mean, there's no real attempt to present him any differently. And I think bringing in like Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman and Eric Redbeard and repackaging them as the Wyatt Clan Part 2 it's not a good move for AEW because it's basically saying we're just repackaging gimmicks from the WWE. I mean, the natural move here, if you're bringing Bray Wyatt into AEW, is to announce him as a new leader of the Dark Order, because the Dark Order is, I mean, unless that gets proper focus, it might as well forget about it, because it's not going anywhere now,
Well, amazing. Right. It brings up amazing points. Yeah.
Well, that would be great, but I think somebody came out and said that they would not have a leader since Brody passed. They wouldn't have a leader of the Dark Order. They let him be the final leader of the Dark Order. But that would be an excellent idea.
The leader of the Dark Order is technically Brody Lee's
Brody Jr.
Yeah.
But we repackaged the gimmick. They don't have to be the Dark Order anymore. You know, he could suddenly come in and say there's something missing here and we need to follow the right cult and transition the Dark Order into another group with a new name. That way,
I buy that.
Keeping that promise and that it's no longer the Dark Order, but you're using the talent in a more efficient way than the way it's been used at the moment. I think if you're just going to repackage these guys as exactly the same as they were in WWE, I mean, if Ric Flair turns up in AEW, no one folks time to
Oh no.
And says woo and takes off the jacket and falls on the thing, I'm gonna lose it. And this is coming from somebody now who only watches. I'm only watching AEW. As someone who's watched WWE for 36 years, I'm done.
Yeah.
I've stopped watching.
I get it, man. I get where JP is coming from like all points and stuff like that. I do think that eventually the Dark Order needs a leader to actually lead them. Obviously, you can't replace Brody Lee, but you can honor his memory and still take the Dark Order in a fantastic run that doesn't have to overlap or even destroy the legacy that Brody Lee made. Because honestly, when Brody Lee came in and took over the Dark Order, you felt really good about the Dark Order. You're like, yeah, they're gonna win championships. They have this right mindset. They're gonna take over the world of AEW, and then all of a sudden, it's like, unfortunately, he passed, and it's like, I get it, but you do need someone to lead them because they don't. Not one of them is a leader anyway. You know?
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I agree with that. So,
and then also, I think in wrestling, we need to stop having large groups like the Dark Order be supportive sidekicks. Rather than threats. Because, you know, when they first came in, I was like, I don't know who they are, but, you know, I don't want to get in their way. And, you know, and then now they're the happy-go-lucky sidekick characters.
yeah, sidekick Hangman. Right. I guess we could to move on to the last bit of free agent news, since we haven't been podcasting in God knows how long. God knows how long. We haven't had the chance to talk about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan's possible debut in AEW. And I mean, I wasn't even looking for wrestling news some weeks back, and this was just all over the place. You couldn't avoid it. And this would be like Hogan went to WCW, Luger went to WCW, and like this would be on that level if those guys showed up in AEW, a balance shifting move. But I'll tell you this much, and I'll let you guys have it. You gotta be careful. Because if you bring in a Punk, you bring in a Bryan, they're going to need a lot of TV time. And what happens to those guys what happens if your Jungle Boys, your Young Stars, your MJFs, your Darbys, what if they started getting pushed to the back burner? Like, Punk and Bryan is great, and they would be great for AEW, but what I'm saying is don't push your young guys back to the back burner. What do you guys think on that?
Well, it's not as if Mark Henry or The Big Show has taken the spot away from any of the younger talent, or Christian Cage either. I don't think you're going to get Daniel Bryan or CM Punk doing 125 matches a year. I think there'll be more. It'll be going back to like the territories. You'll get them to come in and do a couple of programs every so often, and then disappear again. I think it's very exciting. I think it's very exciting because you mentioned Darby Allin. I mean, it's quite clear from the way he mentioned, even if you're the best in the world, in his promo 2 weeks ago on AEW, that's foreshadowing that Punk is going to come in and do a program with Darby Allin, which could be very, very interesting because Darby Allin lives that straight edge. He's the Punk of the 21st century. He's straight edge. He lives that kind of lifestyle that Punk lived when he was younger, and I think they will work well together. Brian will work with anybody. I mean, the prospect of seeing Kenny Omega against Daniel Bryan is incredible.
Yes.
I think
that would be a total non-match. That would be a total non-match, JP. That would be a total non-match for a lot of reasons.
You know, I think so anyway.
Yeah, that would be a total non-match, and I'm saying for the Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega, you know, kind of feel. But if it was a non-title thing, that would be totally awesome. But literally, it needs to be, you know, as we've seen over the years. You know, we've seen, you know, Samoa Joe, you know, take on Bryan Danielson or any of the other guys that have been mentioned in Ring of Honor. But due to the fact that Bryan Danielson has a dream match with Kenny Omega, it makes a lot of sense. And that's one of the matches that we've never seen before, and that's one of the matches that I would actually love to see.
You could only have one of them. Which one would you pick?
I would actually pick. If it was between Adam Page versus Kenny Omega for the AEW title, or Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson, either non-title or for the title, I would have to say, you know, I'd have to go with Bryan Danielson at this point.
But if you were told you could only have CM Punk or Bryan Danielson, one of those two.
CM Punk. CM Punk, definitely.
So that he hasn't been around so long, or you think he'd have better quality matches?
I'd have to say better quality matches.
A fella that hasn't been in the ring in 7 years versus a guy that won every wrestling award in history. I don't know. I think I'd be going Bryan Danielson all day, every day.
Right.
Either one for me is just like groundbreaking. Just must, like you said, can't miss TV. Cannot miss TV. A balance. What's that?
You couldn't miss it, no.
Can't miss balance shifting power. And yeah, I'd be very, very excited about that. As we move on, well, does anybody have any final thoughts on that before I move on?
I wonder what what everyone's reaction would be if they actually see CM Punk coming back as a commentator.
Yeah, that would. I think it'll break Twitter. It'll break Twitter.
Anything will break Twitter.
Yeah.
It might break Colt Cabana.
Oh my God, it might. Yeah, that's the thing too.
Yeah, I remember the court case. I remember that court case back in the day with Colt Cabana and Phil Brooks. I remember. That was nuts.
Yeah, that got kind of crazy. But as we move on, man, Vince McMahon came out swinging. He recently said that he does not see AEW as competition, and that he doesn't know how to value how they value their stars. And he said maybe we should give him more talent in a mocking way. So, man, I look at this and I'm like, Vince, just because, you know, someone is in your rear mirror, you got to pay attention once they start getting closer. And I'm not saying AEW is competition yet, but they're getting there. They're getting closer to WWE than we realize, and they're getting 1 million viewers every week. So what do you guys think on Vince's comments? Is AEW competition or they're not competition?
WWE are safe with 46-year-old Rey Mysterio.
I have to agree. I'd have to agree because if they lose Ray, and literally this is just something here. Because if they lose Ray, then then the only other person that they would lose is Dominic as well. because if they lose both Ray and Dominic,
that's the end.
That's the end. It's over.
We would have a new LWO. We would have
Oh my God.
What the hell?
Sorry, Corey, I'm still waiting for you to come up with our bet, buddy. Still no sign of
Oh, I forgot. I forgot. I gotta get on that. I will. We will take care of that.
Let me jump in here with some comments because based on my personal experience being at WWE in 2018, they watch everything. You may not think that they do, but they watch everything, even if they're not giving press releases or talking to the media as much. Because I know that they watched Wrestle Kingdom in 2018, and they also watched All In. That's why they gave Matt and Nick more money in order for them to come over to WWE.
Right.
Now I just think that personally, Vince knows what's going on, and because Tony Khan keeps talking and going on Busted Open Radio and doing these media conferences and saying that he has all this money and his dad is giving him money,
he does.
Using this as a tactic of you know what, I'm gonna keep releasing guys and let's see how much money you let's see how much time you really have to really do great in this business that Vince has done for all these years. So I think right now it's one of those really you know, like when a tiger goes after their food, like he's really like, I'm gonna give you all these guys. Let's see what you can do with them, because he's not worried. He has a lot of money behind him, but he wants to see if AEW can sink or swim.
And to that point, that is what happened to WCW. They kept gobbling up guys, and then the roster just became overbloated. And yeah, I mean, I got more faith in the AEW that they wouldn't pull WCW, but that is an interesting point. Anybody else got anything else on Vince?
I have a slightly different view on that. I think what is happening is Nick Cannon has been brought in to make the company as profitable as possible, to sell the company. And the best way to make the company as profitable as possible is to reduce the salary scales available. So you were talking about Bray Wyatt there earlier. Bray Wyatt signed a new contract last year, which would be in excess of $1 million a year. Braun Strowman was making over $1 million a year as well. If you look at the most recently released actors, they were all people they had very high-end contracts with WWE. And creative, that old phrase, Marie, which I'm sure you're familiar with, creative has nothing for you. They were doing nothing with these guys and paying them a fortune.
Right.
So they're releasing money, making the bottom line more profitable, I think, ultimately to sell the company. Vince is 74 years of age?
He's getting up there, man.
Yeah. They've given up essentially on by streamlining the WWE network into Peacock. They've essentially given up on it being its own individual platform in America anyway. So they've already given up on that, and this was the big project for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
So they brought somebody on the other side who's cutting and he's burning, and characters don't care because they have all these licenses with NBC, Peacock. They have these TV deals,
$1 billion deals.
There's no longevity of characters, and you can tell there's no longevity of characters because who's the number one contender for the Raw heavyweight title?
Freaking Goldberg.
Again.
Who's the number one contender for Roman Reigns' title?
John Cena. Part-time Cena.
John Cena, right? They are not building characters. They are relying on the old reliables going back. The names, and it's all about, it's not about character development, it's about maximizing profits and getting the company ready to sell the company.
That is a fantastic take.
Disney, because they own everything else. They own the Muppets, they own the Simpsons, they own Marvel, they own Fox, they own virtually every single iconic platform or IP available Disney now owns. The one they don't own is WWE.
Yeah, and I wanna add a funny story onto that. So when I was there in 2018, the supervisors were always joking about WWE buying Disney, and I was there like, you guys are stupid. They always bragged about, one day WWE is gonna buy Disney, and I was like, yeah, sure, keep talking, guys, keep talking.
It's freaking Disney. That ain't happening. It's gonna be the other way around.
I'm telling you, man. You get the chance to work for WWE. You meet everybody that drinks the damn Kool-Aid, and if you don't drink the Kool-Aid, you're not in with the cool kids. I never drank that fucking Kool-Aid, and they knew it.
Yeah, man, and I wouldn't either. You got the right to do that. I feel you on that. And speaking of, you mentioned JP, Roman, and Cena. I actually have a topic here for them. And it is, who wins a face-to-face promo? Is it John Cena? Is it Roman Reigns? Because I'll throw Heyman in that too. I like that answer. Because the first time they did this, John Cena just obliterated him, man. Way back years ago, and I'm speaking probably with my heart over my head, because if you're talking about a 3-point competition, you don't bet against Steph Curry. But I'm going with Roman Reigns. I think he would take John Cena to school in a face-to-face promo, talking about everything under the sun, missionary, and everything else. Nevertheless, who do you guys got? You got Roman, you got Paul Heyman, you got John Cena. Who you got?
I'm going to go against you and be like John Cena, because I have never acknowledged Roman Reigns. I will not acknowledge him. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, so like, you know his cousin Lance Hawaii, who's on the Indies. I took a picture with him and I put it up on Twitter, and I was like, he's the only Samoan I'm gonna acknowledge. So when I see these Samoans on the Indies, they're gonna be the first acknowledgement, not Roman. But in a face-to-face battle, John Cena will win over Roman Reigns, unless Paul Heyman is doing the talking for Roman. If Paul Heyman is doing the talking for Roman, Paul Heyman wins.
I only one thing to say on that, and that is the best promo in the last one was
that was awesome.
I only saw a YouTube clip of it, but it was enough for me.
Yeah, that took me out.
I'd have to agree. I'd have to agree with JP on this one. I don't care.
Well, Roman versus Cena, like my head is telling me Cena, but I'm pulling for the full-time guy. Like, Roman's credibility on this is on the line in this. If John Cena destroys him again, like, geez, you can't come back from that. You can't come back from that.
He's going to pin him, like. He's going to pin Cena, so it doesn't really matter what he says in the run-up to that.
That's true.
That's gonna be it.
He's not losing that. He's not losing it to Cena, who's only here. They're calling it the Summer of Cena for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, you never. I mean, I would say you'll never know, man. Stranger things has happened in WWE. Imagine if they did give it to Cena for a little while, just add an extra layer of creativity to Roman, because, like, if no one is really taking it from him to create the chase in the story, it's going to become stale, and then people are going to turn on him in the way of, like, they don't want to see him anymore. So, dropping a Cena for a little while, give it back to Roman, have that story build up, so that way we can actually believe that we need to acknowledge him, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. From what I can see, the strategy is to position Roman Reigns long term as a face. Get him over.
Yeah, to basically his cousin The Rock. The heel persona is long term the crowd is gonna get on his side. Is what you're saying.
think so. Well, he wasn't working as a babyface originally. People didn't want to see him as a babyface, but they believe him as a heel. But I think Vince McMahon is stubborn. Like, he sees him as a long-term babyface. I think he's going down that road where eventually he wants to reposition as a babyface. And I genuinely think the only person who's taking that belt off him is Brock Lesnar.
Ooh, I'm pulling for Big E myself.
No,
But you may be right. You may be right. As we move on, one more SmackDown topic. The Boss is back. It's Boss time. Sasha Banks is back. And as soon as she came back, she saved the day for Bianca Belair. And the first thing I said was, all right, let's get to it. Let's stop all the friendships. Let's see the beatdown. Let's get to it. And I'm glad they didn't stretch it out. You know, Sasha Banks beats it down. She holds up the title. And presumably, it's going to be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. SummerSlam is the proving ground for people for new champions at WrestleMania. You get to SummerSlam and you win. You know where you proved yourself. And I think Bianca Belair should get the dub here. Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair too. Who should win?
I don't know. I'll see it play out. I mean, I'm not like the biggest Sasha Banks fan or the Bianca Belair fan, but I do respect both of them in the ring. I would just like to see it play out.
Okay.
Agreed. I would definitely want to see it play out as well.
Okay.
If you were to look at this from a merchandise point of view, right?
Right.
I've read lots of stories about Sasha Banks not being the most approachable of superstars and not being overly friendly with fans, whereas Belair is the complete opposite. If we're looking at this from a money perspective, there's more money to be made in Bianca Belair t-shirts than there are in Sasha Banks. I do think that a lot of this stuff really matters. You know, Cena was never turned heel because of the amount of stuff rolled as a babyface.
Yeah.
To young kids. Like I said, I think Bianca Belair probably is kind of a role model to young ladies. Works better than Sasha Banks because her whole personality is based on being a bit of a bitch.
Well, she is certainly great. Like Sasha Banks as the face, I just can't vibe with. Sasha Banks as the heel. Oh yeah. Give me all of that. Like that. I'm invested as Sasha Banks as a heel. Yes, I would agree with that. Not necessarily, but in Sasha Banks' case, I'd say yes.
Am I right in thinking that every champion is a heel except Bianca Belair? Am I wrong?
I'd have to go down the list.
But the Usos the tag team champions, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they're tag team champions.
Roman's a heel. Lashley's a heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bianca might be the babyface.
She's the only babyface from what I can remember.
Her and Nikki.
Yeah, her and Nikki.
Yeah.
What's Reggie? Or does anybody know or care?
I don't know. I guess he's a tweener. Reggie is Reggie. Yeah. Reggie is Reggie.
And look at next. All heels, aren't they? Carry Cross.
Yeah. Cross is a heel.
Isaiah.
Swerve, yeah. I would think so.
MSK, the crowd boos him like heels, so I guess so.
She's the only one there face on that side, I think, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Wow, we really have to think about this. This is sad.
Yeah. Who's the champions again?
Oh my god, man.
But speaking of,
look at AEW. It's all heels in AEW as well. Like you have Kenny Omega, you have the Elite, you have the Good Brothers of the Impact Tag Team Champions. You have Miro. Lance Archer changes whether he's a face or a heel depending on who he's actually going up against.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. You're right.
Maybe it doesn't matter anymore.
I guess not.
And we also have Britt as a heel. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she still a heel though?
yeah, she's a heel.
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah. Just the crowd is slowly bringing her along the path to being a face, but she's a heel as we stand today.
Jim Cornette was talking about her last week. He said that like they have messed her up completely because the babyface, nobody was buying into it, and then she became a heel, and everybody just thought she was a brilliant heel. But because she's so good a heel, they've almost turned her babyface. And if you look at like who she's been fighting, like she was against Nyla Rose, who was a heel, and she has this weird friendship thing going on with Tony Schiavone, and Schiavone is not a heel. He's a
well. I'll give them credit. They bought in Red Velvet, so that's gonna be even though she's gonna get cheered in Pittsburgh, but that's a face that they bought in, so that Britt can be the heel.
Murdered in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's very likely.
Yeah.
But
Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be excellent as well if they moved on to that. But speaking of moving on, we'll move on to a little bit of NXT. Index is back. How about that? We had a lover. Yeah, I love it. We had a lover loser match. It was Gargano versus Dexter Lumis, and the stipulation was Index was off. If Dexter Lumis lost, well, Dexter Lumis lost the match, and Indy Hartwell said, "Hell with y'all stipulation. I'm going to get what I want." And Index is back, and I love every bit of it. How do you guys feel about this?
Love conquers all, man.
There you go. Yes, indeed. Index. Any other thoughts?
It makes a mockery of having stipulations, though, doesn't it?
It does. I have to agree with you on that.
They hoped us in that there's no way we're going to have a match that was going to determine whether or not they would still stay together or not, whether they could be together, and he loses the match and they end up together anyway.
Right. I think they would have been better off if he just won the match, and they could have just did that anyways.
Yeah, it's better storytelling, and it's people will cheer. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's about time though that Dexter Lumis actually started talking.
Yeah.
Instead of just staring like
yeah.
to the camera.
We need to hear his thoughts.
I mean, when he was Sam Shaw on Impact, he was a good talker. Like,
yeah.
So he can talk, but I mean, I think an interesting way would be to go with that now is if they actually start doing vignettes where she's kind of all in his face for a couple of weeks and he just turns around and says, "Shut up, woman."
I would pop for that.
Having not spoken for 3 years, like.
That's the first thing he says, right? Shut up, woman.
Can you please pass me the salt?
And then maybe she'll kind of ignore it and say the same thing what she said in the ring.
You talk too much.
Very funny.
But Index back. I love it. One final topic on NXT. Samoa Joe is killing security guards again. Poor MJF. Never, if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
But Karrion Kross called him out. Samoa Joe choked out some security guards, and I'm excited about this match. But I gotta say, the fact that they called Karrion Kross to the main roster, and he's been going in 50-50 matches, it's like his character, his light has been dimmed. And I was like, this is a top match for me, but now it's kind of a top match. I'm excited about it, not that excited. Karrion Kross, Samoa Joe, what do you guys think? Are you excited about it or what?
Look at the way that they have been squashing Karrion Kross on Raw and making him therefore like the most mid NXT champion ever. I'm sorry, I like Killer Cross better because he was actually threatening. I mean, I would say like just give it to Samoa Joe, but it doesn't make sense to put the title on Samoa Joe. I don't know. They need to build Cross's credibility back again with or without Scarlett by his side.
I totally agree with that. Like he it's like, I won't necessarily say he went to the bottom, but man, it sure feels like it. What's going on Raw, and then even before all of this, it's like everybody was punking him on the mic, like left and right. They would have his promos, and dude didn't stand a chance. And I hope they build him up, but I think I'm gonna go with putting the title on Joe, and let's see what happens from there.
Beaten by 44-year-old Jeff Hardy in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy. Yeah, that's where it all just fell apart. Jeff.
On his birthday, no less.
Apparently,
oh wow,
he was due to face him again before Hardy went down with COVID.
Right.
And according to Meltzer and Alvarez, he was due to lose again.
Wow. Wow, man.
Yeah.
How many talents from Next have actually made it on the main?
It's like a curse.
Only the 4 horsewomen. Other than that, I can tell you.
I mean,
how many 4 horsewomen are still with WWE?
I hope Finn Balor's second run is not as bad as the first one. I mean, it wasn't bad. He did win the Intercontinental Championship twice, but I hope they build him better on this one.
Yeah, we all do. We hope that they build him better. I was gonna say that I think at this point, because Karrion Kross has said that he wants to try to work like all 3 promotions, NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, just because he wants to like do that, and then eventually like Scarlett would be with him, hopefully. If he wants to do that, the safe bet is to give the NXT Championship to Samoa Joe.
Right.
Just because. I'm not a fan of Karrion Kross, never was. I don't see anything to him that makes him special or stand out. So, my money will always be on Joe because I've seen him live and he's such an amazing wrestler and I watched his whole career. So I'm biased. So I would just be like, just put the belt on Joe.
Yeah. As we move on, there's a brand new member of the Bullet Club, and his name is Chris Bay. He defeated Juice Robinson, and as we build to this storyline with Jay White, David Finlay, at Resurgence, Chris Bay, we've been building with Chris Bay and your boy Jay White. So Chris Bay is now a member of the Bullet Club, and I absolutely love this. What do you guys? How do you feel? What do you guys think about that?
I think it's a great pick for Chris Bay to be with the Bullet Club. This is their chance to keep adding more junior heavyweights, because obviously Chris Bay is a junior heavyweight, and I can't wait to see what he does in like the best of the Super Juniors over in New Japan, and then maybe they have something for New Japan Strong. He could wrestle there. Chris Bay is an all-around great talent, and picking him to be there just helps them in general. I have no complaints about Chris Bay being there.
Me either. I absolutely love it, and just to see the dude throw up the Too Sweet symbol, I was like, yes, because I've been following the dude since he was the hottest free agent in wrestling, and just to see him blossom from what he's doing in Impact to now the Bullet Club, it is a great story.
Mm-hmm.
So as we move on to the last 2 topics of the day, speaking of Resurgence, Jon Moxley has a mystery partner. He's going to take on the Good Brothers, and I love me a good old mystery partner. Who is it going to be type of match? And I think the obvious answer is Eddie Kingston. But who do you guys think is going to be Moxley's mystery partner?
I have 2 ideas. One, it could be Eddie Kingston. The other one could be Sami Callihan. As like a one-off. But I don't see. People want Shooter, who's Shota, but he's stuck in the UK, so he can't really come over here. But either Sami Callihan or Eddie Kingston.
There's not much
leaning towards Sami Callihan.
He's been tagging with Eddie Kingston for months.
It wouldn't be a surprise, but to New Japan fans, it'll be a surprise.
It would be a tremendous matchup. I like to see somebody just off the wall, somebody that we're not thinking of, be the partner. Nevertheless, if it is Eddie Kingston, going to be a great match. And Resurgence is shaping up to be awesome as we move on. As we move on to the final topic of the day, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy. The crazy thing is, it was whatever AEW show that was. I had my head down, and the TV was on mute. And I looked up. I said, Tanahashi. I started turning up the TV. It's like, oh my goodness. And it's going to be Tanahashi versus Archer for the U.S. title. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'm going to let Retro, you can go first because you're marking out way more than me.
Yes, I've been following New Japan like a little bit closer since maybe Sakura Genesis, and I've been like looking at Tana. I don't know. Not only he's so wholesome, he's so He always has like a good stance on his fight. He's like, I gotta do better. The young lions are going to do good at whatever. And even though he's been like not on a losing streak, because he did lose the title match against Shingo, but won against Kenta. Yeah, that was a 5-star match indeed. I don't know, chances are that the Motorhead Monster might retain to keep the IWGP US title on the US side and keep on defending on AEW. But I don't know how convenient it is to return the title to Japan, but I'm really hyped for that match and to give get more of Tanahashi on Occident,
Yes, indeed. Going to be a fantastic match. Marie, if you want to join in on this one.
So I marked out as soon as I saw Tanahashi on my TV screen, and I was like, what are we doing?
Same.
Do that because there was no build up except for that one video, because after Tanahashi beat Kenta during the Summer Struggle tour right before the Tokyo Dome event, he basically told management, hey, Ibushi hasn't recovered, let me fight Shingo, and management was like, all right, cool, we're gonna put you in the main event. Him and Shingo had a 5-star match. That was beautiful storytelling, and then all of a sudden you see him show up on AEW to fight for the United States Championship title, which he has never won. So it's kind of amazing to see that. I want Tanahashi to win the title just to take it over back to Japan. But because we're having new restrictions and lockdowns with COVID, unfortunately, Lance Archer should retain it just to keep it in the States. And maybe Tanahashi could stay a little while longer. When Tanahashi was on Excursion, he was in TNA in 2008. So he built his fan base there and then take it over to Japan. But this means a lot. And the partnership that's going around between New Japan, AEW, and Impact is super strong. And it feels like back in the day where you can enjoy wrestling. You can enjoy your favorite wrestler taking on your other favorite wrestler in fantasy matches, because we're all in this business of dreams. That's
the territories all of
it is, and it makes me super giddy that I get to be a part of this. We all get to be a part of this, and that's going to be one hell of a match. And that's our co-main event, because the main event is going to be Jay White versus Finlay. We all know that Jay White is going to have a flawless victory against David Finlay.
Yes,
I just want to live there. You know me.
Gonna be I know Jay White is your boy. Jay White is. And I the more I watch Jay White, the more I'm like, yes, he's it. He is it.
Which, surprisingly, you see, when he had his Wrestle Kingdom moment and he gave that wonderful 9-minute monologue speech for like this year, I was like, oh shit, I don't want him to go to WWE. I don't want him to go anywhere else. You know, but now seeing him on Impact and how he works an actual syndicated television show, I was like, all right, good. All my fears are gone. You know, he'll be okay. You know.
Oh yeah.
Working a New Japan style TV show, it's way different than working a syndicated American show.
Right.
It's totally different. So basically his transition was super good, and I'm like super proud of him to have it like flawlessly.
Yes, indeed. Same here. And
Yeah,
go ahead.
Looking forward to Resurgence. I'm sorry, yes, because as expected. I mean, maybe not together, but we got Tanahashi, we got Jay White, we got Spin Juice, we got the super coaches, the good coaches. Yeah. I don't remember Rizuki and Rocky Romero.
Moose and Ishii.
They're coming. Yeah. Well, Taguchi and Rocky are coming in. Oh wait, Rocky's in a trios match, isn't he?
I do, yeah.
I do know that for Texas and Philly, Taguchi and Rocky Romero are going to be there. I don't know about Resurgence, but we'll see when it happens on August 14th. By the way, did you see what New Japan wants from its fans? To a 15-second video to get a code to watch the pay-per-view?
No, what's going on?
I mean, like, all you have to do is a 15-second video explaining, why you're hyped for New Japan Resurgence, and they may pick you to get the code to watch the pay-per-view.
Wow.
And then also to be a part of the opening video.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to hashtag it my Resurgence. I'm gonna end up doing a small little video after this. So, I just wanted to know if you guys knew about it.
I did not.
Yeah. It's because I'm not really camera friendly. but I might go, right?
Look, I'll tell you from my experience, being in front of the camera is not my thing. I'm more comfortable behind the scenes, directing skits and all that. But as I keep doing it, I get more comfortable. So just fucking dive in and be like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And
that sounds good, because also I'm not the type of wrestling fan that has a lot of memorabilia and t-shirts and towels and everything. The only thing I have is a mug that he had maybe around my house. So I don't know if the people take that, or I know that's fine. How much of a fan you are, right?
No, not really. I mean, as long as you're able to just do it, you're doing it for the fun of it. It doesn't matter if you don't get picked. You're doing it for the fun of it, to show your fandom. That's all it is. It doesn't have to be oh my god, look at all these belts. Look at all these memorabilia. Oh my god, I got this, I got that. No, man, it's for the experience.
Oh yeah.
Experience.
Speaking of fans, one more thing, a topic that I forgot. Ronda freaking Rousey. This would be the final topic.
To Ronda.
I'm scrolling through Twitter and Ronda Rousey is trending. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I see the tweet of her saying, yeah, I heard the "We Want Wyatt" chants, but you guys were chanting "We Want Beach Balls" when the guy was wrestling in the match, and that just set Twitter on fire. And Ronda Rousey got this old school heel in her where she just needles wrestling fans, and it sets people off. I found it funny. What do you guys think? On the whole ordeal.
It's 50-50. This time around, I can't blame it on hormones, because she's not right. She's not wrong.
Yeah, she's not wrong. She
actually has a point, because the fans can be kind of fickle, but I don't know. It was not it was not because of the fans. I don't know. It's a 50-50, as you said.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I'm 100% the other way, actually, because I think she's not giving the full picture. Why are the fans screaming?
They were bored at that time.
They were bored.
Yeah.
Why were they bored?
They were bored of the match. I don't even remember the match for it.
They were bored of the shitty writing and the shitty programs, and if I'm correct, the one she's talking about is the match where it was the horrible match between Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which was absolutely appalling. The one with the mallet, right?
Yeah.
Terrible storytelling, red lighting. They build up this character, this incredible character of the Fiend for months and months, and you beat him with a mallet, right? So I think, like, if I was in that audience, I'd be shouting for beach balls as well, because watching a beach ball flying across the floor would be far more entertaining than what was put on in the ring. And not Seth Rollins' fault. I've seen Seth Rollins in excellent matches. He's an incredible he's a incredible professional, and it's not Bray Wyatt's fault. Bray Wyatt got over every single gimmick that he had.
He sure did.
Right? And it really comes down to the creators. But she's not going to have a pop off the writers. She's not going to have a pop off in SmackDown. She's going to have a pop off the fans, because the fans don't matter. Fans aren't paying her wages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fans don't matter more now than they ever did, because they're making the money not from touring, because they haven't been touring, right? They made more profits by not touring. They're not making it from pay-per-views, because all the pay-per-views are on Peacock. They're making their money from television rights, irrespective of what the ratings are, and from the deals that they've done with Saudi Arabia and the deals that they've done with Peacock. Fans don't matter. Their opinions don't matter. Their money don't matter.
Yep. Well.
Yeah, when you put it like that, yeah.
Well, if there's no final thoughts, that is the final topic of the day. It was great getting to do this again with you guys. Like, I missed just sitting down talking about wrestling. So I very thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having us back again.
Thank you for
Great to
having
have
us
you
back.
Get looking for that Rey Mysterio match.
I will look for that Rey Mysterio match. I will be here next week.
From all the rest.
All right.
Yeah, he's not gonna rest until you actually do that and prove it to him, or at least try to. So
I will find it, and hopefully I'll be back with it next week.
And if you want, try to get a chance to watch Shingo versus Tanahashi at the Tokyo Dome. This past, I think like last month or this past month. It's a really good match. I
shall check it out. Yeah. I'll check that out. And one more thing, JP, I'll save it for next week, my reasoning. But I do want you to know that Rey Mysterio is one of the goats of professional wrestling. I just want to point that out.
Have you ever seen Old Yeller? Do you know the story?
Oh my God!
Yes, I do.
He's so old he can't even walk, so they just take him out the back of the farm and shoot him. Yeah.
I've heard the story. Poor Rey Mysterio. But
greatest of all time, my Irish
Oh, until next week, guys. I shall see you guys then.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye bye.
All right, take care.
Bye.